Speedway Report is a production of ZTV. Well, IndyCar opens their 2021 season. Italy hosts the Formula One World Championship. And NASCAR brought their cute little stage racing to Richmond, Virginia. Welcome to Speedway Report for Monday, April the 19th, 2021. From the shores of Lake Norman in Race City, USA, Mooresville, North Carolina, I'm Patrick Reynolds. And thanks for joining the fastest half hour in racing. Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Love to see you there. Don't miss an episode. We get dropped right into your email box. We'll let you know when we are posted. All this stuff is live on Facebook each week and uploaded to YouTube. So how's it going, everybody? Pretty busy weekend as we roll through April. The spring gives us more and more races. Let's talk about who won what with the Speedway Report Victory Lane Lap. NASCAR Cup raced yesterday in Richmond, Virginia. After 400 laps, Alex Bowman parked the 48 Chevy for Hendrick Motorsports on the front stretch in Victory Lane. The trucks ran at Richmond on Saturday afternoon. John Hunter Nemechek took the checkered flag. IndyCar opened their season, postponed earlier from St. Pete. They went down to Birmingham, Alabama yesterday, and Alex Palou did a great job for Chip Ganassi Racing and wound up on top of the podium. IndyCar is off to St. Petersburg next week. Originally the season opener down in Florida, postponed, will now pick up the pace here in late April. Formula One was in Italy. Max Verstappen for Red Bull won a dandy. We'll talk about that a little bit tonight. In the NHRA, they were out in Las Vegas for the four-wide Nationals, West Coast style. We have an East Coast one here near me in Charlotte, North Carolina. Vegas held it this past weekend. In Top Fuel, Steve Torrence won the four-wide for the fifth time in his last 6 tries at it. Bob Tasca, the third one in Funny Car. In Pro Stock, some numbers were in alignment. Erica Enders took her 30th win. It was her 300th start, and she got it from lucky spot number 13. And Ryan Oler won in Pro Stock Motorcycle. The Lucas Oil Late Models were up in Northeast on Friday night. They ran the half mile in Hagerstown, Maryland. Tim McCready passed Ricky Thornton Jr. on the final lap for the win. And on Saturday night in Port Royal, Pennsylvania, Jonathan Davenport cashed that big check at the end of the night. Oh, what else was... I was looking up who won what. World of Outlaw Late Models and World of Outlaw Sprint Cars did not have a race. Neither series had a race in mid-April. I never would have placed money on that at least one of them wasn't running on a weekend once we got going with short track racing. Truth, neither one. The sprint cars are heading to Bristol, Tennessee this week. The late models just came off an event at Bristol, Tennessee. I don't know. They're giving them a little bit of a buffer to take on the bright stages of one of NASCAR's biggest tracks with the high banks. And anyway, USAC Sprints were out in their home turf in Indiana. We're looking to run a triple header. Mother Nature had better ideas and just ran a double header. Because on Friday night in Bloomington, Kevin Thomas Jr. was your winner. And Saturday night in Hobstadt, we saw Kyle Cummings take the checkered flag. Paragon, Indiana last night rained out. Bummer. Anyway, Grandview, Pennsylvania's small block feature on Saturday night was won by Brett Kressley. And the Pro All-Star Series ran the Northeast Classic at Loudon, New Hampshire. Johnny Clark won the 50-lapper on the Magic Mile. All right, let's talk about the meat and the sandwich here. Lots of action. A lot of it pretty good. I saw some good racing over the weekend. Sunday morning, checking out the Formula One race from Italy. And we talk about this guy a lot. You may have heard of him, Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, not bad. Pretty good. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. I think sticks with this car racing thing. I think he's got a shot at a decent career. Running on the pole, running in the pack, working his way through some traffic. Spun the car. Actually just locked it up, kind of got off track a little bit. Nosed it into a retaining barrier, stuck in the gravel trap. Tried to back it up, kept the car running, tried to get it forward, couldn't do it. Intelligently, kept the car in reverse and dragged himself backwards, back through the gravel, back on the track. was able to take off, did not lose a lap because they had a full course caution. We'll talk about that shortly thereafter. Got it into first gear, took off, dragged the nose cone and the front wings all the way around to the pit area. Tires were junk, nose was junk. Dropped to the final car on the lead lap, which was in roughly 9th spot at the time. Then we had the red flag for the crash of George Russell and Valtteri Bottas. Hamilton gets repairs, gets regrouped back on pace. We're about halfway through the race, maybe a little bit more. Amazing drive by this man. If you don't know how good the Mercedes cars are, you don't know how good a driver Hamilton is. He knifed his way through the pack, got up to second place at the end. Now, winner Max Verstappen had a huge lead. He couldn't catch Verstappen in the laps remaining. However, an amazing performance by Hamilton proved that, yes, he is that good. Yes, the cars are that good. He is that much faster than everybody else, except perhaps Verstappen. This looks like to be a long dogfight year between Hamilton and Verstappen. Book it. Those are your championship battle. Those are your rivals through 2021. Hamilton will not walk away with the F1 title in 21. I'm not saying he won't win it, but Verstappen will give him game. This will be the back and forth battle through the entire year. Will be Hamilton and Verstappen. While we're talking about this great drive by Hamilton, let's talk about this great drive by Lando Norris as well. Had McLaren's best qualifying spot. It was disallowed for violating track limits. Dropped him on the grid a few spots, and he still had a marvelous drive up to the podium. Great job by Norris and McLaren. Now, George Russell and Valtteri Bottas. This big crash on the long straightaway on the backside. It was bad enough to cause a red flag. They threw so much debris and junk in parts and pieces all over the track. They took down the styrofoam braking markers, wrecked the cars, wrecked the wall pretty well. Wall didn't need repaired, but certainly needed checking out. Russell was coming up and a hard charge, had a run on Bottas, was quicker than him on the run. Bottas crowded him in a defensive move a little bit. Russell got off into the grass and spun and crashed, and junk just went everywhere. Who did you think was at fault? What was the deal there? Tell me in the comments. George Russell versus Valtteri Bottas. What was the deal? What did you think? Did Russell give way? Did Bottas throw up a dirty block, a dirty move? I don't know. Let me check. See if I got any comments. Okay, nobody. I got some live eyes on me right now, but nobody's chiming in. That's cool. We'll come back to this in a little bit, but I want to know, in that wreck, who did you think? Bottas throw a dirty move with a dirty block, or George Russell just not controlling the nose of his car? What did you think? I want to know what you think. Tell me. Let's stick with the open wheel cockpits here a little bit. Alex Palou, we're talking about drive. Great drive by this young man. Outstanding on worn tires, saving fuel. Drive by Lewis Hamilton, great. Drive by Lando Norris, great. Alex Palou, I'm going to throw him in this group for just wow what the guys did with these cars. Just a young guy driving for Chip Ganassi. Hashtag I like winners. Hashtag Chip must love Alex Palou. Now, Will Power's push to pass time was very confusing to me. He had so much left, but he wasn't using it, and he couldn't catch Palou. I was like, what was going on with this? Why is he not using the push to pass? Because Power was just low on fuel, and he had to save the gas just even to make it to the end. Palou did a two-stop strategy, Power on a 3, yet they still juggled how much fuel they put in the car and just barely got Power to the checkered flag. Otherwise, he had so much more push to pass. I thought he was going to eat up Palou at the end of this race, and it was his. Scott Dixon rounded out the podium. He had plenty of push to pass too, much more than Palou, but not as much as Power, and wound up on the podium. This guy showed why he is the champ. He used his push to pass about right and ran out at the end of the race. There was nothing for saving it at the end of the race, having some left. You shouldn't. You should burn that sucker up by the time the checkered flag waves. Dixon, not the best car on the day, but this is why he has so many championships, and this is why he is who he is championships are built on days like this when you just fly under the radar, you don't have the best car, and you still bring it home in third spot. The guy is a tactician like nobody else. 2021 IndyCar champ, I'm going to go with Scott Dixon. Lay it down. He's got that cagey veteran style, and he's still on top of his game. And how about Romain Grosjean coming in 10th place for his rookie start in the IndyCar Series, coming out of that fiery wreck last year for the Haas F1 team in Bahrain. Recovered for the most part. He's got little reminiscent injuries. That crash was brutal. The fire was, oh, God, tears everybody up just looking at the video of this thing. But it did an outstanding job. Jimmy Johnson had a 19th place finish, 2 laps down. What do we have? 23, 24 cars start the race. To have Johnson finish the race, he wanted to go all 90 laps. He was 2 laps down. Still, he was around at the end. What a learning experience for him. Missed the opening lap pileup. Did you catch the Talladega-style restrictor plate pileup on the first lap when Joseph Newgarden got sideways as the field roared down out of the right-hander down the backstretch for the first time? Everybody on the throttle, nowhere to go. Cars, carnage, cats and dogs living together. It was pretty bad. Johnson did a nice job in avoiding the crash. So did Graham Rahal. So did a few other guys. It helped with their finishes. Rahal finished 6th. Johnson spun later on in the race. Good learning experience for him. This is tough. It's not easy. I don't know what drives harder or easier on this heavy cup car or the light Indy car. But, man, Johnson's in for a steep learning curve, and I'm thrilled to watch it. I'm glad he's taking on this challenge and doing this type of thing. I like former race car drivers going to the broadcast booth. I like them staying involved in the sport. What Johnson is doing the IndyCar series, I think is fascinating, and I can't wait to watch him. He'll be doing the road course races this year. I'm throwing out all kinds of predictions here. I have already so far this show. Throw down a couple predictions for the F1 title battle for the IndyCar champion. I'm going to call this on Jimmy Johnson. He's not running the ovals this year on the IndyCar series. He will go to the Indy 500 and watch it once in 2021 in May. He will watch the 500, and he will be part of the Indy 500 in 2022. There's no way he can be there as part of his team, someone else in the cockpit of his car, and he cannot drive that thing. No way. He'll do that once. It'll eat him up alive for an entire year. Johnson will run the Indy 500 in 2022. That's not an official word out of anybody. That's me telling you as an observer. This guy's competitive nature and wants to be part of the action. He will find a way to be part of the 500 in 2022. NASCAR Cup boys, they were in Richmond, Virginia. Whoa, I sure missed that old half-mile fairgrounds track. Loved it with the Armco barriers. Loved it with the fairgrounds. Love it with the tight. Oh, I love that track. We've got this track now. Still a good racetrack at times. Sometimes it's lane. Sometimes it's good. We had some good racing there yesterday. After the IndyCar race, I jumped over for the finish of the Cup race. And did I hear a couple of boos for Alex Bowman? Why? How? How is this guy getting any boos yet? I don't know how. I don't know why. Seems like a pretty popular guy to me overall. But gosh, yeah, I could have sworn I heard that on the TV yesterday. Don't know why. Suspicion. Maybe some people think Jimmy Johnson is still in the 48 car and doesn't know he's running the IndyCar series and don't know Alex Bowman's in the car. I don't know. Maybe it's just a thing. You hate the 48. I don't know. That seemed like very odd to me. And I could be wrong, too, in case there was no booze and I'm just hearing things. Anyway, it was a good race there. I thought it was a good finish between Logano, Hamlin, and Bowman for the shootout. It depended on that when that last caution came out, what it did with about 20 laps to go. Some cars were good on the long run. Some guys were good on the short run. Bowman was actually good on the long run, but they pumped his air pressures up, and he got the bite and was able to figure out the short run speed on that. Hamlin comes up denied again for a victory, but 8 top 5s and no wins. That's kind of a new record, as he was tied with 7 top 5s and no wins in the season. 8 top 5s and no wins is a new Cup record. Without going to victory lane. And who thought it was kind of cool that the 48 car went back to victory lane in NASCAR the same day that Jimmy Johnson made his debut in the 48 on the IndyCar series at Barber Motorsports Park. I thought that was neat. Sometimes there's just cool number stories in racing. They always seem to add up for us. Who was the genius that decided the IndyCar Series and the NASCAR Cup Series should run on rival networks at the same time? This would have been a great day if we had a noon to 3 and then a 3 to 6 or 7, noon to 3:30, something like that type of time windows when they actually worked together. You're fighting largely for the same audience, and it would have been a great time for each series to throw their eyes of one onto the other. This would have been a good one if we started Barber at noon or 1 o'clock, something like that, and started the Richmond race at 4, or vice versa. I don't know, because Birmingham's in the central time zone, Richmond on the East Coast. I think there could have been a way of this to handle it better. For a guy like me, you're fighting for the same audience, and I'm not really too much with getting multiple screens up and stream it and multiple TVs and streaming services and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm not much for that. I'm going to throw on the TV and I'm going to watch it. I watched the IndyCar race. When that was over, I went to the finish of the Cup race. So here's another set of eyes that NASCAR lost. I've said that for years anyway with the chase and the playoffs and stages. Whatever. I was able to catch the finish of the Richmond race, and I was good with that because I thoroughly enjoyed Formula One in Italy, and I thoroughly enjoyed the Indy cars at Birmingham. Now, the Northeast Classic took place at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Who else knew about this? I did not. I happened to catch, coincidentally, some results online for this race, but I saw almost zero. I saw zero, absolutely none, pre-race press from New Hampshire Motor Speedway or pass on this Northeast Classic. They had the super late models up there. They had tour-type modifieds all on the Magic Mile. I don't know how the crowd was or how successful or a failure the event was. It was kind of odd to me. Didn't notice it, didn't see it, but I just happened to stumble across the results today. I'm glad they ran it. I hope it was a successful event, but I didn't know much about it. What can I tell you? Bowman Gray Stadium's season opening race should have been this past Saturday, April 17th. That was the plan, to have the 200-lap opening feature. I still do not have word on when the season will open. We do this live on April 19th right now. Leo down in South America, he usually watches us within the next week. So just for a frame of reference there, buddy, we're live on the 19th, but I don't know when the Madhouse Bowman Gray Stadium will open to 2021. Certainly, when it does, I'll fill you guys in because it won't have a modified race at the Madhouse without us talking about it here at Speedway Report. Let's pick our racer of the week. Finally, gosh, there were a lot of contenders. I talked to about a lot of drives, a lot of performances this week, a lot of guys. It doesn't necessarily mean the guy that winds up in victory lane. Now, there's plenty that wound up in victory lane that certainly deserve it. There's people off the podium that also deserve it well, that did great driving jobs. To me, who stood out a little bit more above the rest? Who conquered more? What drive? What won? What was it? I'm going to go with our racer of the week to IndyCar season opening winner Alex Palou. Young guy with a lot of potential. It was a great drive by some others. I went on about Hamilton earlier. However, he's a multi-time champion. He's won racer of the week before. Great drive, but yet he didn't win. And winning, gosh, that is part of the equation that I do consider. You don't got to win, but it sure as heck helps. Congratulations, Alex Palou, the Speedway Report Racer of the Week. In between our broadcasts, you check up on our website, speedwayreport.com, for loads of podcasts. It is getting warmer and warmer. Time for a road trip. Time for the Speedway Report podcast. Download a bunch. Take them with you on your next ride. On social media, catch up with us on Facebook at the Racers Reunion Facebook page or Speedway Report with Patrick Reynolds. Follow me on Twitter at Speedway Report and at Speedway Pat. You can also catch us in the forum on racersreunion.com and on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to that, and we will see you as soon as we post our show. Big thanks to everyone that joined the Facebook Live feed tonight. Thanks to all of you that tune in live each Monday. I want to thank all the military past and present. For the freedoms we enjoy as Americans in our daily life, including the simple things like bench racing right here on a Monday night. Freedom is not free, and a veteran paid that bill for us. To all the men and women who are defending freedom and watching Speedway Report, take care of yourselves and come home soon. A special salute to the teachers, school staff, firefighters, police officers, and paramedics in our own communities. They are quiet and modest heroes every single day. God bless and thank you. You've been watching Speedway Report from the shores of Lake Norman in Race City, USA, Mooresville, North Carolina. Please like our Facebook page, Speedway Report with Patrick Reynolds, and follow me on Twitter at SpeedwayPat. On the Drag Racing List Facebook page is Drag List Live coming up at the top of the hour. You've got 9 minutes before Bill Pratt and John Bachman take you through Las Vegas and all the drag racing action. Now, we'll be back live here on Facebook Monday, April the 26th. Loads of racing. We've got Talladega. We've got dirt racing. IndyCars of St. Pete. Whole bunch of stuff. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. I will see y'all next week.